Let me try that again. Microphone on now? All right. Good morning. Today is January the 10th of 2023, and this is our regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. For the record, the public was notified of today's meeting by notice dated November the 30th of 2022. Thank you so much for joining us today, and if you will, please take a moment to turn your personal devices or cell phones off. We would truly appreciate it, or turn them to vibrate. It would be helpful. And as usual, I will do my best to remember to tell you to turn those back on. And I just wanted to say that we have a special guest, several special guests, and I wanted to mention that. But Alabama Power Company named its new president last week, Mr. Jeff Peoples. Mr. Peoples is here today to attend his first Public Service Commission meeting, and as president of the company, I should say. He might have been here before, but we welcome and we appreciate you taking time to be here. And on a special note, I might add that the three of us were introduced to Mr. Peoples this morning, and Commissioner Beaker and I, who I believe are both hearing impaired, y'all can all laugh, but we both decided this morning that we liked the fact that we could hear him. He talks loud. So unlike our younger partner over here, Commissioner Oden, who can hear well, the two of us like when folks talk loud. So thank you and welcome to the commission. Let me also say today we've got two other special guests. The Attorney General's office has a new person working with the Consumer Interest Division. That's Lindsay Summer. Lindsay, stand up. Thank you. We look forward to working with you. Next, we have Lisa Salzman. Lisa, stand up. Lisa will be clerking with our division, with the Attorney General's, I'm reading, the Attorney General's division this summer while she finishes up her law degree at Jones School of Law. Welcome to the commission. We're so glad to have both of you. And with that, I will also introduce my colleagues. To my right is Commissioner Jeremy H. Oden. I'm Twinkle Andress Kavanaugh, President of the Commission. In place two, to my left, is Commissioner Chris Chip Beaker, Jr. To the far right is John Garner, our Executive Director and Chief Administrative Law Judge, and below is the Secretary of our Commission, Mr. Walter Thomas. And you all know, as is customary each month, one commissioner gets to bring in a friend to offer the prayer and the pledge. This month, that privilege goes to Commissioner Oden. But before he starts, let me just say, she's one of my heroes. I mean, she can cook. And if you haven't watched her videos where she cooks the most delicious food, you need to tune in. She does a fantastic job. I tried making the biscuits. Mine did not look like yours. But I do love your cabbage and sausage. That's one of my favorites. I enjoy it. Commissioner, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. That's one thing I've always been, or never been called, as soft-spoken. So I'll join President Peoples in that. But thank you, and it is my honor and my privilege this morning to welcome our guest, Miss Dana Standridge. Dana is a longtime friend of ours and of my family, and we appreciate all she does. One of the things you'll notice about her is she's always got that beautiful smile on her face, and so she does that really great, and a lot of people love that smile when she comes across and says hello to them. Dana comes from Blount County. She is a longtime family up there. They were in the cattle business many years, and her family was and still in the cattle business as well. So her fame, though, I have to admit, when I called her to ask for prayer, she said, "Are you sure you don't want David?" And I'm like, "No, he's not as famous as you are. We want you." And so, but she is married to David Standridge, the representative from Blount County. He represents District 34. They've been married for a long time, and they have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. One of the things, though, that you will note about her is she's very involved in Alabama. She is one of our ambassadors for the state. She is all over the country representing us in Alabama. She's a member of Hayden First Baptist Church. There's where she and her family attend. Her sons are very popular. They're veterinarians and all of that up in Blount County, and so she has a great family. Dana, though, is a former school teacher, and I wanted to mention this because many times we overlook some of these things and what she's done. But she is the founder of the Youth Leadership and Community Programs in our state, and she worked with Auburn Extension Group in order to found that. And so that's one of the things we don't necessarily see in her bio, but we are proud that you've done that and how many leaders have come out of that program across our whole state. She is past president of the Legislative Spouses Club. Also, she is their chaplain and been their chaplain. The most famous thing, though, is that during the COVID years, she was approached. She said, well, we've got to do something. And so she took out her phone and she made this YouTube, I guess was the first, Dana, video about ugly biscuits and put it on YouTube. Well, guess what it did? It went viral. And so now she is one of these YouTube stars. She's also on Facebook Live now, which has over 25,000 different followers in her. She is one of the best ladies you'll ever meet. She's the author of the cookbooks Time to Cook, y'all, and then her new one, of course, as President Kavanaugh showed, was Happiness is Homemade, y'all. It is my honor and privilege to have Dana come and pray for us and lead us in our pledge. So we'll just let you do that. We'll give you a certificate first, though.
Thank you for having me here. I'm just honored to be around people that serve. All of you serve, and you're here serving in your capacity. They're serving in their capacity, and I know what it takes to serve and what it takes to serve others. But who I serve, first and foremost, is the good Lord. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Lord in heaven, we just love you so much. And look at this group here. We're so honored to be with this group, dear Lord. And I pray, dear Lord, that you would touch each and every one as they serve you, as they go about their days and their lives. I pray that you would put a protection around them, give them clarity of thinking, help them to make decisions the way you want them to make it, and lead them in your will. I ask that you would let your love flow through them to others, and let us represent the state of Alabama the way that you need us to represent the state of Alabama. And especially put your hand upon their families, because we know to serve is also sometimes can be hard for the families. And we ask that you would put your hand upon the families and put love around them and surround them with your love and your guidance. And we ask that all business would be done according to your will. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Okay, let's do the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, do I have an approval and a motion to approve the minutes from our December the 6th, 2022 meeting?
So move. Second?
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
With there being no old business to bring before the commission, we will move on to the new business at the commission. We will begin with our commission reports, beginning with the Utility Services Division monthly report. which is usually given by our division director, Mr. Jeff Johnston. He is out today, so Judge Garner will give his report today.
Thank you, Madam President. I will present first the Consumer Services Report, and I'll try to do it loudly. During November, there were a total of 9 electric and gas inquiries. 7 of those inquiries involved residential service. The remaining 2 involved business service. Moving to complaints regarding the service of Alabama Power on the next page, there were 5 complaints in December 2022 compared to 13 in December of 2021. Moving to the next page, this concerns complaints regarding Spire, Alabama. There were 3 such complaints in December 2022 compared to 5 complaints in December 2021. And then moving to the complaints regarding Spire Gulf, there was only 1 complaint in December 2022, no complaints in 2021. And that brings us to the telecommunications basic service inquiries. There was only 1 residential inquiry in December 2022, which was under the jurisdiction of the commission. And as far as other telecommunications services, on the next page, there were 14 inquiries, none of which were jurisdictional to the commission, and 7 of those involved internet service. That will bring us to the gas agenda on the next page. The first 2 items on that agenda are the division RSC reports for Spire, Alabama and Spire Gulf, which do not require a vote. The last item does, but under docket 18046 and 18328, this is the division's RSC report for Spire, Alabama as of November 30, 2022. Based on preliminary figures as of that date, the projected RSC return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2023 was 9.78%. The authorized return is 9.5 to 9.9%. Under docket 28101, we have the RSC report for Spire Gulf as of November 30, 2022. Based on preliminary figures as of that date, the projected RSC return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2023 for Spire Gulf was 9.22%. The authorized return is 9.70 to 10.30. And then that brings us to the last item, which does require a vote. That is under docket 5434 and involves a Spire, Alabama INC application for approval of a base contract for the sale and purchase of natural gas with K2 Commodities LLC. Everything's in order with the request. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
Commissioner Elder,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker,
Yes.
Now moving to the water and wastewater agenda. There are 2 wastewater items which require a vote. I will present both of those items for a single vote. The first item is under docket 31803, which involves a petition by Integrated Wastewater Management INC for approval to modify its certificate of financial viability. The requested modification would expand the service territory of Integrated and allow the company to own, operate, and maintain the wastewater collection and treatment facility for Hidden Hills subdivision, which is located in the community of Bremen in Coleman County, Alabama. Staff recommends approval. The second item is under docket 32553. This concerns a request by Community Utilities of Alabama INC for approval to renew its certificate of financial viability. Everything's in order there, and the staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker,
Yes.
And on the next page, that brings us to the telecommunications agenda. There are 11 items on that agenda which require a vote. I will present all of those items for a single vote. Under interconnection agreements, the first item is docket U5435, which is a request for approval of a commercial mobile radio services or CMRS interconnection agreement between CenturyTel of Alabama LLC, DBA CenturyLink, Gulf Telephone Company, DBA CenturyLink, and Envoy Spectrum LLC. Staff recommends approval. Under amended interconnection agreements, we first have docket U3873, which is a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between Bell South Telecommunications INC, DBA AT&T Alabama, or AT&T Southeast, which I will hereinafter refer to as AT&T Southeast, and GC Pivotal LLC, DBA Global Capacity, pursuant to Sections 251 and 252 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996. Everything's in order there. Staff recommends approval. And I would note that all of the amendments to interconnection agreements on the agenda are sought pursuant to the sections that I just cited, that is Sections 251 and 252 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996. So picking up with the next item, under docket U4230, we have a request for approval of an interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and Fusion Cloud Services LLC. Staff recommends approval. Under docket U4548, we have a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and TEC of Jackson INC. Staff recommends approval. Top of the next page, under docket U5186, we have a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and Conterra Ultra Broadband LLC. Staff recommends approval. Under docket U5191, we have a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and Georgia Public Web INC, now known as Excelicom Georgia LLC. Staff recommends approval. Under docket U5268, we have a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and Peerless Network of Alabama LLC. Staff recommends approval. Under docket U5356, we have a request for approval of an amendment to the interconnection agreement between AT&T Southeast and WANRAC LLC. Staff recommends approval. At the top of the next page, we move to cancellations and withdrawals. Under that heading, we have docket 26499, which is a request by Securus Technologies LLC to cancel its certificate of public convenience and necessity for customer-owned coin-operated telephone service in the state, effective October 31, 2022. That's when Securus ceased providing public coin telephone service and removed all of its COCOT equipment. So Securus will continue to have authority to provide inmate calling service, but they are seeking to cancel their customer-owned coin-operated telephone service. Staff recommends approval. Under docket 29916, we have a request by Aero Communications LLC to cancel its certificate of public convenience and necessity and withdraw its tariff. Aero's certificate was granted under this docket on May 16, 2026 for the provision of local exchange and inter-exchange telecommunications services. By notice received December 13, 2022, the company stated it was no longer providing any telecommunications services to consumers in Alabama, so no customers will be impacted by this cancellation. Staff recommends approval. And lastly, under miscellaneous items, we have docket U5436. This concerns a request by Bell South to withdraw its program auto-wired music offering from its access services tariff due to product sunset. This request was filed on December 2nd, 2022 with a requested effective date of January 1, 2023. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
And the remaining items on the telecommunications agenda are included for informational purposes only and do not require a vote. I will close out the division's report by addressing the activities of the field services section on the last page of the agenda. And these reflect activities during the month of November. During that month, field services staff inspected the facilities of 6 wastewater treatment plants managed by Community Utilities of Alabama. All 6 of the systems were located in Cherokee County. 5 of the systems were permitted by the Alabama Department of Public Health, and 1 was permitted by ADEM. The system ranged in size from 8 customers to 70 customers. Each system was unique from the other due to its size, design, and operation. All 6 systems were functioning properly at the time of each individual inspection. And barring any questions you have, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Next, we have our Gas Pipeline Safety Division represented by Mr. Jonathan Kimbrell, the Acting Division Director.
Good morning.
Commissioners.
Morning.
This morning, I'm going to go over the agenda submitted on December 27th, 2022. Their activities will reflect for the month of November of 2022. GPS performed the following inspections during the month of November. A total of 70 inspections. 2 operator training sessions were conducted utilizing 89 in-person days. The inspections are itemized as follows. There were 14 standard inspections, 10 construction, 9 integrity management program inspections, 1 accident/incident inspection, 23 section 14 inspections, 5 alcohol, 8 follow-up inspections for a total of 70. Of these 70 inspections shown, there were 5 enforcement letters issued with 16 non-compliance items for the month. There were also 7 non-compliance items corrected out during the month of November. Of the incidents and accidents that occurred in the state of Alabama, there was 1 PHMSA reportable incident that was reported during the month. There was 1 state reportable incident reported during the month. The one that took place in Spire Gulf, Creola, Alabama was initially reported as a state reportable, but due to costs moved to a federal reportable. The incident took place in Creola. A contractor was unloading a piece of equipment on the side of the road to do work. Due to heavy rains, the equipment sank in the dirt and ruptured a plastic gas pipeline. They were not planning on digging in the area. They were just unloading, so they did not call 811 or have any marks or anything. The piece of equipment exceeded a cost of $135,000. The reporting threshold was $122,000. The other incident took place on Pike Road in Alabama. A contractor struck a 6-inch poly main while they were installing a sewer extension. They did not have an active locate ticket request in system. Spire is going to pursue reporting them to the Underground Damage Prevention Association. For training for the month of November, there were 2 operator/contractor training sessions for polyethylene plastic fusion. One occurred at Trustville Utilities with 28 personnel of the operator. The other occurred at Northwest Alabama Gas District with 40 operator personnel. We did not train any contractors in the state in November. Miscellaneous items are, we received all of the comments for GPS Rule 15 dealing with calibration of equipment. There were 3 responses in total. 1 response came from the Alabama Natural Gas Association, which represents the majority of the distribution operators within the state. The other comments were received from 2 other operators in support of that ANGA comment. Lastly, GPS worked to ensure that all of the PHMSA required inspections are being performed within the required time frame. It appears as though we met our goal in that area. Barring any further questions or comments, that's it for gas pipeline safety.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have our Utility Enforcement Division. Today, Mr. Chris Hester, the Railway Safety Administrator, will give the report.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
You have before you the Utility Enforcement Division's agenda dated January 3rd, describing the major tasks, inspections, and activities performed during November. First, we will cover the railway safety section. On the first page, you'll see a total of 77 defects noted, 18 being track and 59 equipment. None of these conditions rose to the level of a violation. On the second page, you can see that there were 4 incidents reported by the National Reporting Response Center. 1 incident involved a fatality, and 2 others had unknown injuries. We completed a hiring process for our new track inspector, Blake Conway, who started in November as well. We'll now move on to the motor carrier services section. It was a routine month for applications and insurance filings. As of November 30, over 4,300 Alabama carriers have registered for the 2023 UCR. On the next page, you'll see that 1 passenger carrier tariff supplement was received and accepted. And pending any questions, this concludes my report.
Thank you. Great job. Next, we have our Electricity Division represented by Mr. John Free, the Division Director, and Ms. Patricia Smith, our Public Utility Analyst Manager.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
You have before you the Electricity Policy Division's agenda dated January 3rd, 2023. Ms. Patricia Smith will present the division's monthly update on rates RSE and ECR for Alabama Power Company.
Good morning, Commissioners. The first item on our agenda is the division's monthly report on rates RSE and ECR in dockets 18117, 18416, and 18148. Regarding rate RSE, the staff performed the regular monthly examination of the books and records of Alabama Power Company and determined the reprojected weighted return on average retail common equity was 6.98% for the 12 months ended December 31, 2022. This return is based on 11 months of actual data for January through November 2022 and 1 month of budget data for December 2022. For rate ECR, the staff performed the regular month review of Alabama Power's energy costs for the month of November 2022 and determined an under-recovery of approximately $57.4 million. Commissioner, this completes our report on rates RSE and ECR.
Thank you.
Commissioners, we do not have any additional docket items, so pending any questions you may have, that completes our report this morning.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Next, we have our Legal Division represented by Commission Administrative Law Judges Sue Ellen Young and Luke Bentley. Then after that, we have Chad Mason, followed by Judge John Garner.
Good morning. I'm going to take all 8 of my items at one time, with your permission for one vote. The first 2, docket C 20430, is petition of Donald J. Hunter, DBA, DHT of Eclectic, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F5190. This certificate was revoked due to their failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. I recommend a grant of the petition for reinstatement. Docket C 20434 is a petition of J&S Hauling, LLC of Jacksonville, Alabama, for reinstatement of a motor carrier certificate F4944, which also was revoked due to their failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. Recommend a grant of their petition for reinstatement. The next 2 items are similar. There's docket 32691. Motor carrier certificate CB73 is held by Wyndham's Tours, Inc. of Birmingham, Alabama. This certificate was suspended by commission order dated November 3rd, 2021 for a period of 1 year. Wyndham's Tours has failed to notify the commission of its intent to recommence their operations or to relinquish their motor carrier certificate CB73 despite a request by the commission to do so. Recommend a cancellation on 30 days notice. Docket 32481, motor carrier certificate 4052, held by Scuttle Shuttle LLC of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Their certificate was canceled or suspended by commission order dated November 3rd, 2021 for a period of 1 year. Scuttle Shuttle has failed to notify the commission of its intent to recommence their operations or to relinquish their motor carrier certificate 4052 despite a request by the commission staff that they do so. Recommend a cancellation on 30 days notice. Docket 33037, petition of GNR Transportation LLC of Boaz, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F5215. Recommend a grant the cancellation is requested. Docket 31103, petition of Spirit Express LLC of Dalton, Georgia for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F4203. Recommend a grant the cancellation is requested. Docket 33036, petition of Service Trucking LLC of Montgomery, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F5214. I recommend a grant of the cancellation as requested. And lastly, docket 19432, petition of Colonial Freight Systems, Inc. of Knoxville, Tennessee for cancellation of motor carrier certificate P333. Recommend a grant and cancellation as requested.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Bieber? Yes.
That's all I have today. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I have 5 items on the agenda. The first 3 are routine motor carrier items, so I'll take those together for one vote. Handle the other 2 separately. Under docket C 20433, the petition of Industrial Transport Services LLC of Mount Vernon, Indiana, reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F2987, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. Recommend grant of that petition and reinstatement of the certificate. Under docket 30638, petition of Outdoor Solutions, Inc. of Huntsville, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F3905. Recommend grant of cancellation as requested. And the last of the motor carrier items is under dockets C 12096, 22146, and 24160. It's the petition of Sharmac Enterprises, Inc. of Gunnersville, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificates P520 and F175. Sharmac also had cargo self-insurance authority. I recommend a grant of the cancellation as requested and a grant of the cancellation of cargo self-insurance authority as requested.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
The next item is a telecom matter. It's under docket 28327. The application of Easton Telecom Services LLC of Richfield, Ohio for a certificate to provide telecommunications services in the state of Alabama. Hearing was held on December 15th, 2022, in which commission staff participated. I recommend grant of that application.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
And my last item is under docket 31803. It's the petition of Integrated Wastewater Management, Inc. for approval of an increase in its current tariff rates. The Attorney General filed notice of intervention. The hearing was set for December 15th, 2022. On the day prior to that hearing, the petitioner, Integrated Wastewater, filed a motion to withdraw the petition. The commission staff and the Attorney General appeared and participated at that hearing. I recommend a grant of Integrated Wastewater Management, Inc.'s motion to withdraw and a dismissal of its petition to increase its tariff rates.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I just have one item on the agenda. It's under docket 17545 regarding revisions to the Commission's gas pipeline safety rules. Staff proposed revisions to the gas pipeline safety rules to incorporate a new GPS Rule 15, which would require operators to comply with standards for the calibration of their testing equipment. The proposed modifications were served on interested parties who were invited to file initial and reply comments. All comments have now been considered by staff from the GPS and legal divisions. We recommend an adoption of the GPS Rule 15 as modified by staff after consideration of all written comments filed.
So move.
Second. Yes.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Judge.
Thank you, Madam President. The only remaining items I have for presentation are those reflected on the administrative agenda. I recommend approval of all those items.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other new business to bring before the commission today? With there being no more new business, in closing, let me remind you that our next regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission will be on Tuesday, February the 7th of 2023. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to turn your phone back on. I'd hate for you to miss a phone call. And with there being no further business to come before the commission, we stand adjourned.